Today, I'll be reacting to all the gaming setups my viewers sent in my Discord server. If you guys do want to be in a future video, all you guys got to do is join up my Discord server, which will be the first pinned message in the comments down below, and it will also be in the description. The first setup we got here is Vex's gaming setup. He has a really clean and organized setup. I really love those shells and the fake plants on them. He has a PC powered the whole setup, which includes a Ryzen 5 5600 as a CPU, 16GB of RAM, and the RTX 4060 as a GPU. For the main monitor, it is a 1440p 170Hz monitor. The vertical one is a 75Hz 1080p monitor, and overall this setup looks amazing, and I would have to give his setup a 9.8 out of 10. Good work. The second setup we got here is MX's gaming setup. He has a pretty decent setup. I like the RGB cloud as well as the different things around his setup. He has a pretty good looking keyboard and a Logitech mouse as well. His setup is powered by a laptop, which is pretty cool. I would say maybe try getting a monitor for the future, as it would make your setup a lot better. I'll give his setup a solid 7 out of 10 though. The third setup we got here is TopG's gaming setup. He has a really nice dual monitor setup, especially with the 3D wall panels at the back. He has a PC powering the whole setup, which includes a Ryzen 5 2600 as a CPU, 16GB of RAM, and the RTX 3070 as a GPU. He's rocking the Corsair K70 Pro Mini as a keyboard, the Logitech G903 Hero as a mouse. I really love the whole feel of his setup, and I would also give his setup a 9.8 out of 10 as well. The next setup we got here is Kira's gaming setup. She has a pretty nice dual monitor setup. I really love the shelf she has with all sorts of different Funko Pops and anime related items. It really shows her personality and makes her room pop out even further. She has a PC powering the whole setup, which includes an Intel i7 13th Gen as a CPU, 32GB of RAM, and the RTX 4070 as a GPU. She has a PS5 Slim, 2 monitors with them being an Acer and an Asus. She's rocking the HyperX Quadcast as a microphone, the HyperX Alloy Origins Core as a keyboard, and the Logitech Pro X Superlight as a mouse. Overall, this is a really clean setup, and I would have to give it a 10 out of 10. The next setup we got here is Ian's gaming setup. He's rocking a pretty clean dual monitor layout. I can see that he has a monitor arm holding both monitors. He has a PC powering the whole setup, which includes a Ryzen 7 5700 as a CPU, 16GB of RAM, and the RTX 4060 Ti as a GPU. He has the Attack Shark as a keyboard, the Logitech G203 as a mouse, and a couple fake plants that he got from Amazon. This is an awesome setup, and I would give it a 9.6 out of 10. This next setup we got here is from BlueSync. He has a Lenovo laptop with an i3 CPU and integrated graphics. He does have a Nintendo Switch hooked up to a TV though, which is pretty cool. I'm not exactly sure where he put his laptop, but I would try and include it in your setup to make it pop out even further. This is an alright setup, and I would give it a 6 out of 10. This right here is Aran's gaming setup. He has a pretty clean laptop and PS5 setup. The specs of his laptop includes a Ryzen 5 3550H as a CPU, 8GB of RAM, and the GTX 1650 as a GPU. He has a pre-gen 240Hz monitor with the Logitech G203 mouse and a cheap keyboard he got for free. This is a pretty decent setup, and I would give it a 8.5 out of 10. Moving on, this is GP's gaming setup. He has a really nice triple monitor layout with a pretty cool PC. He hasn't listed any specs, but I would assume that his PC is pretty powerful. He is rocking the Ajaz AK as a keyboard, Bloody Abedless as a mouse, and he also has a HyperX Quadcast as a microphone. He is also 11 years old, and to have this kind of setup at that age is really impressive. This has to be a solid 10 out of 10. Good work. The next setup is Glacier's gaming setup. It's kind of hard to see what exactly he has in his setup, but he is playing on PS4 that is connected to a small TV. He also has a mouse and keyboard, which is pretty nice. He is saving up for a PC, so that'll be an awesome addition to his setup. I'm excited to see his future progression, but I'll probably give his setup a 5 out of 10. The next setup we got here is Miro's gaming setup. He has a PC powering the whole setup, which includes an Intel i5 12th Gen as a CPU and the GTX 1650 Super as a GPU. He has a Lenovo 1080p 75Hz monitor with a HyperX Alloy Elite as a keyboard and the HyperX Haste 2 as a mouse. I would say maybe upgrade the monitor to at least 120Hz, which will make gaming a lot better. Also, getting some LED lights will help make your whole room pop out even further. This is a pretty decent setup, and I would give it a 7.3 out of 10. And the final setup we got here is Jake's gaming setup. It seems like a lot of people have a double monitor setup, including myself. He has a PC power on the whole setup, which includes a Ryzen 5 7600 as a CPU, 16GB of RAM, and the RTX 4060 as a GPU. His main monitor is the MSI G274PF 180Hz monitor. He has the Attack Shark X3 Pro as a mouse, the Yunzol 65% mechanical keyboard, and the Miro USB microphone. He also recently got some new keycaps and a light bar as well. This definitely helped to make his setup pop out even further. I would give his setup a 9.7 out of 10, and I just want to say good work. And that right there will conclude the video here for today. In the comments, you guys can decide which setup was your favorite. If you guys are new, I'd highly recommend you guys to drop a like, subscribe, and turn on post notification bell. If you guys want to be featured in a future video, all you guys got to do is join on my Discord server. And if you guys want to see all the other setups I reacted to, check out the videos on your screen. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.